Hey guys, welcome back to the program. Welcome back to the DeeTimeLove show. And today I've got a very interesting video for you guys. I've got a watch in from Grenchen, Switzerland, the Nivada Grenchen Chronomaster, the icon, the legend. A watch for the watch enthusiast purist. A brand that appeals to a true watch enthusiast, a purist, that for someone who doesn't necessarily go after just the mainstream luxury Swiss brands, a brand with real tradition and heritage. And just check out the hand tag that comes with this watch on a ceramic stainless steel finish with a real heft. What a nice bit of memorabilia, I have to say. But going back to the watch itself, this is a watch that I have to say I have real admiration for. Very nostalgic, very cool reissue of a watch that comes with a high price tag on the vintage market and has a real history, but it comes in many different variations. But guys, just looking at the packaging really is in fitting with the actual brand and what it's trying to do with this reissue, with that velvet finish and that distressed look finish of the box. Really gives you the feel that you've got a vintage piece. But when you pop the box open, I'll be able to unveil to you guys the watch in hand. And just looking at the box there where it comes, very cool, very nice for the price in terms of packaging, very in fitting with what they're trying to capture with this iconic watch. But I have to say, guys, this watch in particular really does fall in line with the original icon and really has similar dimensions, and we'll go through the specification of that shortly and give you my sort of first impressions and how I feel about the watch. But this watch in particular that I have here below is the Nivada Grenchen Chronomaster Aviator Sea Diver manual version. Also comes in an automatic version as well. And like I said, there are many different variants of this watch in terms of color combinations, color chrono collaborations, but this was the one that I picked over those because I felt it's very in fitting with the original version. But guys, it's very cool indeed. Now, in terms of pricing for this watch, it comes in at 1,690 Swiss francs. So in terms of pound sterling currency here in the UK, you're looking around 14 to 1,500 pounds sterling and around about the 2,000 US dollar mark for 2022. But this, guys, is a watch with real heritage and tradition, and those of you that follow me on the channel know that I like to unveil some very cool, quirky, unconventional watches as well. Some traditional watches from the luxury mass-produced brands, for micro brands. And like I said, this watch really is for the purists. So let's change perspective, and before I do that, let's have a little wristwatch check in terms of what I'm wearing. Another reissue from a very cool French brand, the Yema Rallygraph. Very cool watch chrono. This is a watch that if you want to find out more, I'll leave a link in the description in regards to the unboxing and review of this particular timepiece. But let's change perspective and take a closer look at the dimensions and specification of this particular timepiece. Now then, let's take a closer look at the timepiece. Let's go through the specification. And first of all, I want to start off by saying that this watch's case diameter is 38.3 millimeters. It's got a lug-to-lug width of 46.5 millimeters. Now, the case thickness of this particular timepiece is 13.8 millimeters. Now, the band width is 20 millimeters, but the actual leather strap tapers down to 16 millimeters. Got a very nice satin finish buckle there as well. Now, the actual bezel on this particular timepiece is a unidirectional bezel. Now, as this watch is a multi-purpose watch, it can measure time, it can be used for diving and so on. You feel that the actual bezel has just enough resistance for you to trust it as a diver, but you can also use it to tell draw time, as you can see there. But if you look at on the dial there, you've got the tachymeter. Let's just zoom in for you guys to check that out. Very nice indeed. You can see that there, and you can see the indices there. You can see, just zoom in there, you can see the tachymeter. As you can see, that very cool indeed, guys. Just slightly zoom out so you can see the overall dial. There at 3 o'clock, you've got the candy red there, the sub dial for measuring the time and so on. And then on the other side, you've got the second hand there ticking away. Let's look at the push. The piston head pushes very nicely. Let's get the chronograph going, guys. Very nice indeed. Not screw down pushers or anything like that, but very nice indeed. You can see there the Chronomaster Aviator. Very nice indeed. Sea Diver. You've got broad arrow hands as well. Let's just stop the pusher. The chronograph function there. Let's have a look how it winds. Absolutely silky smooth. You can see the distortion of the double dome sapphire crystal. Very nice indeed. Very nice touch. What a beautiful timepiece, guys. Look, let's get straight into my first impressions. Aesthetically, they've captured the original, haven't they, guys? Absolutely fantastic. Very, very intriguing, romantic watch, you can say. And at 38.3 millimeters, it wears very, very well on my 7-inch wrist. So in terms of being negative or overly critical, one thing I would say about this particular timepiece is that it's great for the smaller wrist, but it's going to be a big disappointment for people with larger wrists who are missing out on this absolutely classy, romantic chronograph watch full of character, guys. I have to say, now you get different variations of this watch, and it comes with different sort of hands as well. I'll leave some images, a little video clip of what they've got on their website for you guys to check that out. But what a beautiful timepiece. Just spin this over quickly. So Nivada, stainless steel, Swiss made, 10 ATM, so 100 meters water resistant, which is good for a dive watch, especially, well, a chronograph watch that is a dive watch, but especially for a watch that doesn't have you know, a screw down crown or screw down pushers. Yeah, I have to say that's very good, to be honest with you. But the original one had a 200 meters water resistance rating, and that's what really, for me, could be perceived as a negative, that the reissue hasn't got the depth rating. However, what it does have, this particular watch, is a very cool movement. It has the Sellita, I believe, SW10BHB, which is a manual movement, which you can also have it in automatic or manual wind. I went for the manual wind option on this particular timepiece. But overall, it really is a stunning piece. Now, let's check out the loom. Let me just give you a shot of the loom so you can see that there, guys. And yep, absolutely appropriate for a chronograph watch, I have to say. But for me, you know, at this price point, in terms of what you're getting, guys, is absolutely fantastic. Like I said, this is for a purist who doesn't necessarily want to go and buy a Speedmaster, someone who's more into that sort of exclusive purist watch, someone who really is a watch enthusiast nerd will absolutely love this piece, and I fall under that category, guys. I have to say, I love the fact that it's 38.3 millimeters in terms of case diameter. It's not the thinnest, it's not as thin as Speedmaster, I have to say. Doesn't wear as flat on your wrist, but it is an extremely cool timepiece. I love the unidirectional bezel, and it's an all-purpose watch, and this is what made this watch so famous. So it's for your diver, it's for aviation, it's for motorsport, it's for yachts, and that's why you've got that splash of candy red on the sub-dial there for your yacht users as well. It is an all-do watch, an all-purpose watch, and Nivada Grenchen really produced a masterpiece back in the 60s. It's one of the first, do it all automatic chronograph watches in the 60s. And the reissue really pays tribute to that watch, but gives it the element of that modern technology with that double sapphire crystal, that double dome sapphire crystal. Look at the way it distorts on the dial. Very nice indeed, I have to say. Let's just zoom into the dial for you to get a closer look at the beauty. Now, as I zoom in at the top there at 12 o'clock, you can see the blue sheen. So it's got a real amount of anti-reflective coating. I have to say, I believe it will probably be inside the actual double dome sapphire crystal. But let's get the chronograph moving. Let's push on this piston head pushers. Let's listen to this. Absolutely stunning, guys. Very nice indeed. Look at that. Fantastic. What a beautiful timepiece. I love the broad arrow hands. Very nice indeed, guys. As I showed you the loom. Very nice indeed. And what can I say? This watch really is a piece of history on the wrist, brought to you back on the wrist for the purists at a very good price, at the fraction of a cost of the Speedmaster, I have to say, with arguably as much heritage and history as some of the best Swiss chronograph watches. Now let's just zoom out for you guys to get a normal view of the watch. But what can I say, guys? At a fraction of the cost, you can pick these up. So if you really are a purist and you want a very cool chronograph watch with heritage, an icon in your collection that not everybody knows about, then this could be the watch for you. I love the brand. If you look back at the history of this watch, you have a look at them, how much they go for. The 60s version, that can be a bit of a minefield when you're looking at vintage watches. This really is an extremely good buy. Let's get this watch on the wrist. The joys of the hobby, guys. I have to say, a really pleasant watch, I have to say. And there you have it on my 7-inch wrist, and it really wears well indeed, guys. In fact, it's extremely comfortable. And my only critique is that if I'm being overly critical, the people that miss out on this timepiece that probably will think it's too small for them at 38.3 millimeters are people that have, 8 to 9 inch wrists. Will probably think it's a little bit too small for them. But for me, it's a stunning piece. And I would highly recommend this timepiece to anybody looking for a chronograph. Something a bit different, but with some real heritage and tradition. I'll leave a link below in the description. Check them out, guys. Very nice indeed, I have to say. But guys, I spoke to Nivada Grenchen and I wanted to give something back to you guys. And if you use my promo code, when you go out on the checkout, you will get a free strap of your choice with this particular timepiece. How cool is that? I'm forever negotiating for you guys to get the best possible deals and bring some new, refreshing timepieces to the channel. And guys, like I said, what I want to do on the channel is really bring you guys different types of watches, different genres of watches, to give you an insight and exposure to a variety of different brands, and really not to really cloud your judgment, to give you that exposure for you to decide on the genre of watch that really suits your style, your passion. because not everybody is the same. So like I said, I want to show you guys some funky, wacky watches. I want to expose you to the mainstream Swiss watch brands from Switzerland, Japan, from wherever they are, like even the Yema below, which is a French-made watch. But these guys, Nivada Grenchen, who are made in Grenchen, who basically used to make cases and so on and became a watchmaker and a respected watchmaker in their own right in 1926, really have a real great history, tradition, and this watch has captured it in an abundance. And I have to say, I will give this a highly recommendation from the DeeTimeLove channel. It gets the DeeTime thumbs up, highly recommend, a watch that I would be happy for anyone to purchase without a doubt, as I'm not even just saying this, it could be a nice starter for a collection at a very, very good price point. And I'll leave you with some shots of the watch and just to get different angles. I love the finishing, the satin finish on the case, the drilled lug holes, that high-end finish polished on the beveling there. Very nice indeed. Very cool leather strap. Loads of different combinations you can get, and different hand combinations. You get lollipop hands. I really do love the broad arrow. But when you've got broad arrow hands, I have to say, it's always going to be compared to an Omega Speedmaster broad arrow. But guys, this has abundance of character, an abundance of tradition, and most importantly, it comes to you at a very good price. So guys, leave your comments in the description. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'll be intrigued to find out your thoughts on this particular timepiece, and I'll see you in the next video.